What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mag. So, of course, we take on Ipswich tomorrow. 3 o'clock kickoff down in Portman Road. It's a return of Ipswich, of course, to the Premier League this season. And this will be the first time we have played them since March of 2002. Of course, a legendary connection between Newcastle United and Ipswich, of course, as well, with the connection of our very own Sir Bobby Robson, who was a manager at Ipswich for 13 years and, of course, went on to do some absolutely fantastic stuff whilst at Portman Road. Portman Road as well and Ipswich are a historical club. Not only did Bobby Robson manage Ipswich, but, of course, Sir Alf Ramsey as well. So it is a historical club, and it was great to see them get promoted this season into the Premier League. And it's great to see them, of course, back in the Premier League as well. But with that aside, it's all business in that 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow when we take them on down at Portman Road, because I want to see Newcastle United doing what we've been doing in these recent games against Leicester, against Brentford, in the game, of course, against Liverpool as well. We're putting a really good performance. We're starting to show now some really good form. We're starting to show a really good bond between the players as well. You could see it with that game in the League Cup, of course, with the goal, and how, you know, the team celebrated with each other as well. We're starting to see, you know, that the team are bonding together. They're becoming a united front together as well, which is good. And, of course, as Eddie talked about in his press conference today, which I just looked at a few little snippets from the press conference, and I picked up a little bit from it. And of course, he's talking about the likes of Bruno and Sandro Tonali, their partnership, and how that has helped Newcastle to improve of late. We're seeing, you know, Sandro Tonali playing more in the number 6 role, with Bruno coming up into that number 8 role, which is something, you know, that I've been saying for a long time, as has my brother. You know, we needed to see Bruno playing higher up the pitch in that number 8 role, somebody coming in and being that number 6. And when we're saying Sandro Tonali, it was obvious that Sandro Tonali was going to be that guy that had to play the number 6. It's his role. He showed that. And it's great to see, you know, that he is putting in the minutes, getting the minutes now as well. And it's great to see, you know, that we are finally starting to see the team gel together as well. And Eddie is happy, you know, to see that as well. You can see it with the press conference today, the way he talked about the partnership between Bruno and Sandro Tonali. However, I will, of course, play a little clip from the press conference of what he had to say about Joelinton, who, of course, was going to be suspended anyway for this game. But it is, of course, to talk about the update on his injury after, of course, what happened in the game against Brentford. It was a very disgusting foul by, of course, Collins, who should have been off, in my opinion. I did say this in my match reaction as well. You know, it was just absolutely uncalled for. Elbow into the face of Joelinton, and then when Joelinton went down on the floor, you know, Collins coming down out the air, bang, studs into the cheek. Just, you know, the lad was absolutely busted up. And as, of course, you'll hear in the clip from Eddie Howe on what is the update with, of course, Joelinton.
Joelinton is suspended this weekend, but he was substituted the other night after picking up a couple of facial injuries or wounds. Can you tell us how he is, and has he recovered from that?
Yeah, he's okay. He's a little bit battered and bruised yesterday. He had a few stitches, I believe, sort of in his ear or around the area of the ear, which was quite delicate. So yeah, he had a cut mouth. So I think probably with him not being available this weekend is probably a good thing for him, because it allows him to rest those bruises and wounds and then hopefully be fully fit for the week after.
There you go, guys. As you could hear from Eddie Howe there, you know, talking about Joelinton update. Like he says, you know, a couple of cuts to the eye, and battered and bruised, and it's just not good. You know, something should definitely be done about that by the FA on Collins, because that was lethal play. And I've got to say, like I said in the match reaction, you know, to the League Cup game, that Collins was very, very lucky that there was no VAR in action for that game, because he would have been seen his marching orders for that, you know, foul and attack on Joelinton. But hopefully Joelinton gets well pretty soon. But going into this game tomorrow, 3 o'clock kickoff, as we take on Ipswich for the first time since 2002. I'm hoping we can go on to add another win to the belt for Newcastle this season. We are aiming for a 3rd consecutive win and building momentum after victories, like I said, over the likes of Leicester and Brentford. And hopefully we can say, you know, we do that. But it is going to be a tough game. Let's not, you know, underestimate Ipswich by any means. Yes, they haven't done the greatest at getting results this season, but in the games that they've played, they have looked really, really good. I mean, the first game of the season they played against Liverpool, they were really, really good in that game. Kieran McKenna is doing a really good job in Ipswich, and they have already beaten, I believe they beat Spurs, I think, this season already. But it's going to be an interesting game. You know, we're going to need to see some very good play from us. We need to go in there with the mentality of giving them a good match, because we can't be going in there underestimating them, you know, and thinking that we've already got the game won, because that's not, you know, what we should be doing. That's not the right mentality. So if we can show the same mentality that we've shown in the game against Leicester, where we're coming away with a really good win, in the game against Brentford, of course, in the Cup, where we've come away with a really good win. Obviously, Brentford game in the league wasn't the greatest, obviously, because of the performance in that. But if we can show what we've shown in the last 2 games against Leicester and against Brentford in the Cup, then I've got all the confidence that we can come away with the result in the bag on, you know, the final whistle tomorrow after that game against Ipswich down at Portman Road. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Sorry if, of course, my voice has been a bit scratchy today, but it's still trying to heal off of a flu that I picked up, and of course heal after that match against Brentford, of course in the Cup, which I was shouting quite a bit. It's, you know, how we were playing and performance-wise in that game, for, of course, how we come away with a win in the game. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. As always, remember, hit that like, share, subscribe to the channel, and however, lads.